Hey, it's Randy at Mountain Air Homestead. All right, I'm out this morning. We've had company for the past week and a half. I'm back to getting some stuff done around here. I'm down below our little mini cabin. We picked peaches the other day, and I put peaches out, all the peels where we've been cutting and putting everything. Put them out, and I put a mini cam or a game camera on them, and we're going to see what shows up here. We'll give them 3 or 4 days and we'll come down here and check it. But I'd like to see what shows up to eat them. I'm sure the deers and the squirrels and everything else will be down here. Maybe you can get a bear coming too. But I just want to see what shows up and eats the peaches. But we're going to start on our outside shed. I'll do a moisture reading before we start on it. We stacked them up. We wrote a date on it and stuff and the moisture content. We'll see what they are when I get up there. But I'll turn you back on then. Well, I decided to turn you on sooner than later. But this is down here at our little mini cabin. I have failed miserably this year keeping this mowed and trimmed up. And it's a mess down here right now. Grass is high. We got all kinds of mices living in our cabin. I'll get down here. I'm just waiting for it to cool off a little bit. It's just hot. They get down here early one morning and at least mow it and keep everything trimmed down. But our 2 maple trees we planted in them stumps are doing great. I might just see them in years from now. Hopefully I'll be around to see them. But they'll be huge growing up out of them stumps. But I just wanted to show you where I've really been lacking this year is taking care of my little cabin area. I hadn't been down here much. I don't think we built a bonfire down here at all this spring. But it's going to get fall weather before we know it, and we can use it then. All right, we're in the wood now. This is that moisture reading on our package we cut. It's been 14 days. We've done it 7/22 of 24. Couldn't find me a marker to write down today's moisture reading. But I'm sorry for the shakiness. But I've got to get this thing built. So I'm going to get started on it today, cutting everything out. We're going to take a moisture reading and see where we're at. Just my mode. It's on hardwood. I need to be at pine, white poplar, ash, elm. Well, I don't really have, well, yeah, that's D. It'd be on D for pine. But this is really just the outside of it. I mean, it'll take months or a year for it to dry all the way in the core like it's 6x6. But we're just going to see, and then after we get it up in a month, we'll do it, and we'll just keep a progress on it. But the outside of it was at 25, and I took it right here where I done it. Hit hold. Let's see what it is. So just dropped it 2%, so it's down to 22 or 3%. So that's in 2 weeks. But it's been rained on too, so, and it's the vents. We unlock the hole. Let's do it one more time, just in a different location, just to make sure. Hit hold. And the sun ain't cooperating. Okay, day. All right. 22.2. So that's basically what it is on the outside. And take it with a grain of salt. It's only, these things will probably go down about 1/4 inch inside the wood. So let's do the end. So outside was 22. The end grain, well, it's reading 81. And it was at 48. So I'm not real sure unless the rain just soaked into it. Reading 93. So anybody out there that knows what's going on, when I fresh cut it, it was at 48. See, like the end of this one over here is at 28. Center's at 17 on this one. So I'm not real sure what we've done. That one's at 27. But it has been sitting out here in the rain, getting wet the whole time. But it's actually went up. It's almost doubled in percentage. You get one of these 6x6s on the bottom and it ain't just been sitting here soaking in water. It's at 15. It's at 15. I'd say it's because that top one was just there. That's at 14, 13. Huh. That don't make any sense. Which this ain't the most expensive moisture reader you can get. We just bought it off Amazon. Try that. The other end of that one log. 29. It's basically through and through the same moisture. Let's try this one. That's at 20. Don't know. Well, let's try it back up here at this end. I mean, it ain't nowhere dry. 24, 23. But dead center of that one, saying 94. So, take it with a grain of salt. What it is. But either here or there, I'm going to start putting it up. And we'll film that a little bit as we go along. I'm going to put all the vents together today, all the ends and everything, and get all that up. Or get all of it put together. Get my rafters cut. And then tomorrow morning we'll just stand it up on there and bolt her down and start putting this stuff on it. But I'll bring you back later this afternoon. Started cutting on my post and beam smoker. It's probably going to take me today and part of tomorrow just to get everything cut up and smoothed out and planed off and ready for the structure and put it together. But I'm doing my 45s. I set me up a little tent so I'll be in a little bit of shade. I've got shade over here. It's just perfectly level right there in that part of my driveway, so that's where I'm working at. But I'm cutting my 45s. Need 4 of them. But all I do, I'm using my chainsaw to do it with. I know, ain't old school, but I could use my chop saw. It almost cut through a 6x6. They're just so heavy to lift up there and cut. Do it with my chainsaw a little bit easier. The 45s, I'm sorry for moving you around so much. It's on my phone. I've got it hooked to a tripod. But sorry for the radio. I forgot to turn it off. I'm not trying to do anything illegal. Just listening to the radio while I'm working. we're gonna gut that one. I ain't gonna keep it running a long time because it's just kind of same thing over and over. Just easier to turn the radio off. That's the 45s. And I've still got to, we'll take my planer and clean up all the edges. Make it look pretty. Let me grab my moisturizer and I'll read in the middle of this log on a fresh cut. That way, where we was doing it earlier, it wasn't showing real true. Showing 88. Middle of that one side. Let's do this other side. Same reading. That's what the moisture is on the inside of them. Alright. What I'm going to do on these here is I'm taking the edge off of them, just kind of rounding the edge, 45 of them. And I do that with my planer and my flappy disc on my...
And your Ryobi.
Yep, Ryobi. But I'm just going to do one here. You can kind of get the gist of it.
Okay.
What we do, or how I do it.
What you do.
Yeah. It ain't nothing special. All I'm doing is just taking the little edge off. It just, when you put it together after that, it just looks so much better. I mean, some of them got the live edge on it, so it really don't.
Oh, it helps smooth everything. Now you use the floppy thing for the live edge, don't you? That one?
Just taking the edges off. I mean, I want to do the side where it butts up with the, just take like a little 45 off the edge. We start putting it all together. I'm not worried about, you know, sanding the whole sides because I want that rough exposed look.
Right.
All I'm trying to do is when we put it together, it's just kind of like a flush up against the other board. Because it's not post and beam, it is post and beam, it's not timber.
Right.
You know, it's not notched in there and in a groove and everything. cutting these all out with my chainsaw. They're not as smooth as if you've done it with a thing, but it's still, they turn out really well.
Well, and it still gives that rugged look.
Yeah, it just makes so much difference when you're putting them up, just to have a little 45 on them.
Right.
And the post and everything will have like a little 45 groove on them.
And you could always go back and sand it down smoother to get rid of any splintery
You could,
areas.
but I'm just going to stain it just like it is. And it looks like an old rustic build.
Okay, go.
I want it rustic.
Yep.
But that's what we're doing, and we'll be back. We'll turn you back on here in a little bit. All right. Got too hot in the sun, so we're back. I came down here in the shade where I didn't have a fan blowing on me.
And it's blowing.
Yeah, and it's blowing. But I started a noodle board. They told me the name of them is noodle boards, the things that goes on top of your stove. It blocks your stove when you're not using it. But I'm doing it out of cedar. What I done is just take my cedar boards and I just made like shiplap, glued everything together. There's 3 boards in that. But it's got to be sanded down good and everything. But I'm going to square everything up, cut it out, and then I'm going to I'm going to trim it with about 2.5 inch pieces around there so it'll set up off the stove a little bit.
Right.
And have like a little lip edge all the way around it. And we got handles to go on it, and I think she's going to burn something in the middle. With the burner. That'll make a pretty little board.
Yep. And with it being cedar, I think we'll clear it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never made a noodle board.
Well,
I did for me.
Yeah, you did. You made a noodle board for my sister. And you know, campers, that's one thing that me and a friend of ours was talking about. Campers usually don't have anything that goes over their burners. And campers have a lot of small
Campers had like metal things.
Right, but the new ones don't. And you're limited on counter space.
Yeah.
Or even like efficiency apartments, you're limited on counter space. And this just gives, extra counter space.
Yep. I mean, I can make them any size.
But you got the measurements off of my stove.
Yeah, this one fits our stuff.
Yeah.
So we've got a good square edge here to start off with. So I'll just measure off this edge and square it up to this edge and trim it all up where it needs to be. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing right now. When I start putting all this together, because I've still got to cut the board. Everything.
So you're going to square that up right now?
Well, here in a minute, I got to do some measurements.
Right.
I'm just showing what we're starting. We'll do that. After we get the end people, we'll show gluing them on and nailing them in.
Okay. Now, how do you know how close till you go?
How do I know more?
Like, how close to the edge?
Well, the ends are square. All I need is this right here. Cut
Oh.
off this edge, the
Okay.
width I need. All good work.
That's going to be pretty. I love cedar. Now, could you have had all the boards cut to an ideal size already?
I did for the length, but I just glued 3 together.
Oh, okay.
And you cut it down to what size you want.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
length is where it needs to be, the width.
Okay.
Got half my tools down here and half up my press, so I gotta go up there and get a tape measure.
Oh, well, we'll bring you back on. Stay tuned.
Alright, this video's all over the place. We're putting the trim on our little noodle board, stove topper, whatever.
A noodle board stove topper.
Noodle
They work.
board stove topper.
This is all cedar.
It's all cedar. Just putting the edge on it right now. Then we'll have to let that dry. And then we'll
Sand.
sand it down. Well, we'll let it dry. Well, you can actually put your design in it. And
Yeah.
then it can dry, and then when you sand it down, it'll be done.
Right.
But while it's drying, you can burn your design.
You need me to hold that one end or you got it? As far as design, I think I'm going to do just a nice big sunflower right in the middle. It's kind of hard when it's hitting like it may hit a knot and then
Well,
it's,
and these finish nails, if they hit something, they just.
yeah.
That's why you don't hold the board when you're shooting your hand around it anymore.
We've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I've got a couple I've got to.
Sand and work on.
Yeah. This glue here, it dries clear. Then you just sand it off after you're done.
Now find me the center. Left or
I don't care what you build. Whatever you build it 10 times bigger than what you need.
yeah. Well, he's not talking about the noodle board, he's talking about his shop.
Not having enough room everywhere. I can find you a center like that.
Yeah, I want a center. Perfect. Go ahead.
22 and a half, so it'll be 11 and a quarter. $30.
15. Now, corner to corner. Is that still
That's
center?
just getting the square. That's in the middle of the board.
Okay.
So as you go middle there and middle there,
Okay. That's what I need.
you're going to put a little bit more glue around the edges. Wipe off the glue, excess glue, and go up there and take them nails out.
Right.
Cut them out, do something. And then you can put your thing in. And after it dries, it'll be hard before it dries. I can start back on that other. But after it dries, we can just sand it. There's a whole lot of sanding.
Yeah. Because you want that smooth as can be. Because
Oh, yeah.
a noodle board actually is a board that you're making like spaghetti noodles, you're cutting noodles, you're rolling pies, whatever it may be.
That way it'll be smooth and it'll have a finish on it. You couldn't use it as cutting board
Now,
because it'll cut it to a finish. But you could do roll out bakery and stuff like that.
well, and also, especially like the people that have like gas stoves, And you want to cover them when you're not using them so nothing falls down in it.
Just don't turn them on.
Yeah, just don't turn them on. We know of one person that they were having a house inspection, buying a home, and they had a noodle board, and the inspector, actually, I don't know if it was gas or electric, but the inspector was checking all the eyes, put the noodle board back down, and almost burnt their kitchen up. So, yeah, he's cutting in little trim, those little nails went through. He only had 2 of them like that, or 3. I'll tell you, with all this woodworking, you don't think of how much time that goes into these. If you think that you've got an hour in it, you've really got about 3 hours in it. And if you think that, you
I
know,
mean, after you make one thing, it's like I wanted to do this one. After we get this done, it's going to go a whole lot quicker because I know
well, you got a pattern.
what to do. I've got a little pattern, depending on how big it is, but it will still be the same basic design.
Well, I'm going to turn this off for now, and we'll bring you back on. Just keep watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.